All right, welcome today to Mindfully Gay, and we have John and Nick, but we have a guest with us today. We're going to be doing things a little bit differently. This is Ruben from Cusco, Peru. And I'm going to have him introduce himself here a little bit, but I'm going to talk a little bit. John and myself have been to Peru many, many times. I think we've seen all parts of the country through the lens of Ruben here, who we talked last night. He's going to introduce himself because he doesn't like it when we give him all these accolades about how important he is in the country. But Ruben's been our teacher, our mentor, our guide, in working in Peru, whether we're in the Andes or the Amazon or the coastal part of the country. He's taken us everywhere and has been very generous in teaching us about the traditions and cultures and the spiritualism of that country. And so we thought he's here for a couple of weeks, and it would be great to have him join us on the podcast.
Thank you.
So welcome, Ruben.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And I do want you to introduce yourself, and then the parts you miss, I'll fill in.
Okay, thank you. You know, normally in our modern society, you know, when you introduce yourself, it's only reference about papers, right?
Yeah.
I am PhD, I am doctor, I am this, I am that. But it's not what we forget is to really share who are you. But in terms of the Western society, where I come in from Western society, I'm born in Cusco. I am very connecting with the Andean tradition. When around 7 years old, I connect with my mentor. But in this time, I don't have idea about healing. It's only curiosity because I don't like it soccer. And in my country, 99% of the people they love soccer.
Yeah.
But sometimes I need to go outside to play with my relatives, and we play in the street. And that's the moment when I connect with my mentor, and he started to teach to me. But years later, when I finished high school, I started to study chemistry. And from chemistry, I moved to study social science. And social science, I doing, you know, the archaeologist. That is why in the 80s, late 80s, I reached the chief archaeologist for Machu Picchu. Because before I am the chief archaeologist, I discovered 44 new places around Machu Picchu. And after I am the chief archaeologist, I have some beautiful work in terms of archaeology. For the same time, in anthropology, my curiosity is about the life of native people in my country. Everybody thinking Peru is Machu Picchu, but Peru is a big, big country in terms of traditions. In this moment, we speak, of course, Castilian, what we call Spanish, and they have other 44 native language speaking. The reference of the colonial time, they say in the Inca time, they speak more or less 700 different languages.
Wow.
But talking about 42, we are talking about 42 different traditions.
Right.
And we have many ecosystems. And that is why for me, my curiosity is to try to put attention about what is the meaning of life for these people, not in my profession. Because your culture and your education to put filters.
Right.
And they not allowed to really understand what's going on in the other side. I have the intention and the pretension to understand according to my rules. And that's wrong. Because according to ancient tradition, each one is unique. And we need to have respect about that. This is more or less what happened in my life. And for this time until now, I'm running in different countries to try to share this. And I know I need to fight with the marketing because marketing always put the Machu Picchu and the Incas.
Yeah.
Our history is not the Incas. Our history starts more or less at 25,000 years ago. The first migration for Philippines, burying all these people, and Asiatic in general. And we have one beautiful example about potatoes. It's native plant of South America, and they start to farm in 7,000 years,
Wow. Wow, very cool.
right? And always I have the joke, why they call here French rice? It need to be Peruvian.
Peruvian, clearly.
Oh,
Clearly.
Andean, right?
Yeah,
But
sure.
this is one example about how important it is to really take your filters and really know what's going on. How important is the potatoes? Very important in our diet, in all the planet. But what happened in the beginning? Who is the person to discover this? What connection? Because they don't have Google. Right? And what is the way to really understand? Because potatoes is the root. Even now, the fruit is not eatable. You eating the fruit and it's danger. But who discovered the root?
Well,
We have 7 varieties what is not eatable in this moment in Peru. But all this process, the adaptation, domestication, is part of the knowledge of these people. But we're coming that. For what school? I understand that's not the school, it's the wisdom. And the wisdom is not in the book, it's here.
Yeah.
That's what I say, it's here. And I do it not with the left, with the right, because all of us were rational. Need to be this balance. And that's the process of these people. Even now, after all these thousand years, still alive the tradition. Even when the colonial time came in the Europeans with Inquisition. Inquisition means, follow what I say, I kill you. And coming with, in terms of religion, coming with different tradition, what is the Andean tradition. So religion coming from the religare, reconnection.
reconnection.
And that is why even now, native people of my country, they practice that. To reconnect with TV, with Google, no, with myself. And it start to change because in the beginning, talking about last millennium, in the 90s, you call to the healers in Spanish, curandero. Now with the globalization, everybody's a shaman.
Yeah.
And shaman is not Spanish, it's not Quechua, it's Tungus language. How many people they know that?
Right. Yeah, people are often surprised when you bring up that word shaman. It's like, yeah, but it has a bigger history. And
Yes.
yeah.
And it's very important to really follow the tradition because the phonetic sound start to move some vibration.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to say here, I am a medicine man. I am a healer. It's more fitting in the vibration of this country. In my country, they say, you're a shaman, and I look at the people and I smile and I say, I am Peruvian. And the people say, what? It's because shaman is not Peru. But in my language, I am Paco. And Paco, that's the name to the special mushroom, what my ancestors, they use in ceremonies for healing.
Yeah.
Right? This is more or less what I do. And of course, because I am an archaeologist, when the people come into Peru, I love to share with, that's what we are doing with you the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Visit different places, and I try to not follow the Western rules. Because when you look in, for example, the maps, all the maps pointing north. Of course, in this moment you have the GPS, the whatever, and you know where's the north. But in the beginning, nobody in South America, they know where's the North Star. Because the planet is this, it's impossible to see. And when you looking carefully at the evolution of the societies, they're not looking for the north or south. They're not looking east-west. They're looking for the sunrise and the sunset.
Right.
Yeah.
What is not east-west. Even now, the people, they have this print in mind, this idea. Sunrise east, sunset west. No, they move. That's why we have the summer and the winter.
Yeah.
And many of these, the naming temples, I agree with that. Many of these ceremonial places is in connection with that. Even here, you have the sun dance.
Yeah, yeah. And it's done at a particular time of the year when the sun comes up over a particular mountain ridge.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the moment when they start to change the vibration, when the day is longer, when the day is short, the night is longer. I say all this process is very important because, of course, now we know the language, in the science language about the light. We don't know about the photons, all these crazy things to name in science. But our ancestors, they know how important is the light.
Yeah.
Because I have good light, the plant growing faster and strong. We name it in science photosynthesis. For our ancestors, it's not photosynthesis. It's the universe provide the energy to be healthy and happy. And I need to send gratitude. That's what I do in this reciprocity in these ceremonies.
Yeah.
We forget. And even now, when I ask, when is the winter solstice here?
The 23rd of
20
December.
December.
Well, what?
December 23rd.
The winter solstice, 23rd. And what happened when you have 29 days in February?
It's like the 22nd.
It's the 20. Right, exactly. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just fudge it a little
Right,
bit.
right.
That is our logic.
Mm-hmm.
That is our logic.
I want to go back to something you were talking
Yeah.
about the value that the people have about feeling connected to their heart, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm remembering some of the petroglyphs that we've seen in Peru where someone's carrying their head.
Yes.
And I always found that to be very fascinating because you said the assumption about carrying the head
Yeah.
was that it was about decapitation.
Of course, Western culture, automatic.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because they appear, these petroglyphs, and even in pottery, in these temples. So when you put together all these temple decapitators, what's the meaning?
Doesn't make any sense.
They know, connect. What I understand is when you have, because these people, they know writing. Everything is oral tradition and pottery and weaving.
Yeah.
And the meaning of that is to take the logic, the rational
Right.
vibration.
So carrying the head is symbolic of
Symbolic to forget the irrational, go with your feeling and emotions. Because they appear in the ceremonial places.
yeah.
So ceremony is not to kill people, it's to fight him. Because I try to convince they not accept, okay, I kill. But these appear in these ceremonial places, and it's amazing because near to these appear, for example, the different plants. And in most of these petroglyphs or monoliths, because have some monoliths, the body have different tattoos. Tattoo is the way to this ancient civilization accept to the healer. So the healer, they have tattoos. The tattoos is the teaching about the cosmovision.
Yeah.
And this person, what is the healer, is holding the head, and sometimes you have the cactus, Huachuma, what now, no now, in the colonial time they changed the name, they put San Pedro, what in English is San Peter.
Right.
And San Peter is very important in the Catholic congregation, right? And it's amazing because these people, they switch the name, and in some way the Catholic, they accept, because the people say, where you going now? I'm going to pray to St. Peter. Normally, because St. Peter ceremonies is in the night with the cactus.
Right.
Right? And you see in these places the cactus. And we have many of these plants too. That is I think, that's the best, no interpretation, the best way to understand why these people, they teaching, how important is. Logic is very important, but the most important in our life is not the logic, it's our feelings and the manifestation of our emotions.
Yeah.
Right.
Because when I have anger and I thinking no anger, I go more deep in my anger.
Yeah.
So what is the logic?
Yeah. So part of what I'm hearing you say then is those people with the tattoos, those
Yeah.
people with the tattoos, in the petroglyphs where they're holding a head, that's really showing that this is that shaman who's more connected to a spiritual, intuitive approach to things.
Yes, that's the healer.
And then you mentioned San Pedro
Yeah.
or Huachuma. And right now in this country, I don't know what it's like in Peru. I guess it's probably always been there. But in this country right now, there's like this psychedelic renaissance, and everyone is running to the plants and running to psychedelics. And I'm wondering if you can give some context about how people relate it to plants like San Pedro or ayahuasca traditionally and in your country. Because I think one thing I see here is it feels like there's kind of an exploitation of the medicines, and I'm just wondering if you can give some context from your
Yeah.
part of the world.
It's amazing what you say, but before I like to share a little more. We found the archaeologists in many places mummies with the tattoos.
Wow.
It's not only in the monoliths and the petroglyphs, real bodies with
Yeah.
the tattoos. The interpretation is very going many different things, but it's very important to remember that. In our tradition, we have many of these entheogen plants, no psychotropics. That start to make the difference. Okay, here the name is psychotropic. In our country, according to the law, to working with these plants is legal. That's why when you go into Cusco city and you go to working in downtown, you see, their ayahuasca ceremony, San Pedro ceremony, mushroom. Now start to doing mushroom ceremonies. It's legal. It's part of our tradition. But in my personal understanding about that is they got this medicine in two different directions. The most is about business
Yeah.
and to provide the aspirin. I have headache, I give you the aspirin and you give me the money. In our tradition, it's not to working with the aspirin. It's to put balance in your feeling and emotion with the aspirin to make a big difference. In this moment, the same what happened 100,000, 10,000 years ago. Human beings were facing fear, stress. In this moment, we have a lot of fear about the economy. In the beginning, the people, they have a lot of fear about the weather. They don't have good rainy season, they don't have nothing to eat. In this moment, you don't have money, you don't have nothing to eat. It's more or less the same, only the difference is the world. But in the ancient time, in my country, the people, they use these medicines to put balance. That is why in native language, the name of these medicines is vision plant.
Vision plant?
Vision plant, right? Or power plant. Okay, now, vision. What is the understanding of vision for you?
Well, I mean, it's what I see in front of me, but I think a deeper understanding is what maybe what I don't see visually right in front of me, but something that I need to find that's in front of me. But I think easily said, vision is what's in my immediate view.
In our understanding, vision is to have the power to see inside you, not outside. Power, because you need to be strong to accept who are you. And it's very difficult. Even with the help of the therapeutic, psychologic, psychiatric, it's so hard to really accept who I am. Because everybody say, "Oh, Ruben, you are the magic shaman. You are this," and out of my ego, yes, I am this. I said, "Please, no, I am a normal person. Look, my belly is big. I eating a lot. What is not necessary? I doing this. I doing that. That is very difficult." Because in our society they teaching for beautiful escapes. That's why in native language, the name of this medicine allowed to us to really know what is going on inside,
That makes sense.
to accept and deny, release. I'm doing this to you. Oh, Ruben, do to me. What is going on with Ruben? And you're running about that. I coming back next year and automatically, oh, Ruben, last year doing it to me. You running this different time. And what is very important, the body teaching 24 hours of release to remind to you. I hold it. No way. I need to release. I fighting with my brother 5 years ago, and you have to say, "How is your brother?" Don't talking about my brother. I fighting with this guy 5 years ago. 5 years of holding this energy. I am more younger. I have more money. I am more handsome. No. I am more heavy because I have some what I am on it.
Yeah.
And that's a part of the rules in this modern society. The attachment to that. That's why in ancient traditions, even now in the communities of Peru, is the community doing everything. For example, when somebody married, they have a big celebration. All the friends, all the relatives coming to the big party, but they bring, for example, money. Of course, they're not coming with 1,000, but they coming with 100, 200. But after it, all the community coming, 300 people, each one they give you $500, is a lot of money. Plus somebody coming, with beer, somebody coming with microwave or TV, whatever. So that's the way the community help.
Yeah.
That is something we forget. In this moment in our life, we need to make a deal. I talk with you half an hour, and you give me 100.
For sure. I'll be your friend. Give me a microwave. Yeah. Yeah.
This is very different.
It's interesting. I just had a conversation with someone. It was kind of like along the lines of, well, they've been listening to the podcast, and we've been doing a lot of releasing. And it was interesting to have someone say, "Oh, I didn't even realize I needed to have this conversation, or that I needed to go to that layer of work." Some people are just kind of programmed to kind of get through life. So I think it's interesting, this whole idea of vision is about looking within.
Not looking to see.
To see within. Yeah. That's very powerful. And one of the things that we're trying to do with this podcast and our website, right, is a particular invitation for gay, bisexual, and transgender men to look and to see inside. And we're also trying to build community, right? So I think you gave a beautiful example of community. And I remember one time at a trip, we took a group of gay guys to Peru, and we were getting ready to go do a ceremony, and we were all on the bus, and everyone was chit-chatting and carrying on, and you got in the front seat, and you just very casually turned around and said, if people understood the power that you men carry, the whole bus just kind of stopped. Like, you spoke to something that I know that you and I have talked about, and I'm wanting to bring into the conversation, and that is, what is the space for gay people in these ancient traditions, and how were they seen and viewed? And here in this country, through the lens of Christianity or other lenses, there's a lot of shame and guilt, and you should kind of be hidden. And I've never had that experience in Peru, and certainly haven't had that experience with the people that you've introduced us with. And so I'm wondering if you can speak to that.
Yeah. First of all, what you say, when coming the Europeans, coming with the Catholic religion.
Yeah.
And the Catholic religion, the first rule is hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy?
Yes.
Okay.
Because always in this time, they say God is only one. But I believe in this God, they kill you.
Yeah. Right.
Automatic.
Exactly. Exactly.
And always what they teach to me, my mentor, and I remember what he said to me, why you are here. I say, because my house in the corner, and I watching you, and I curiosity. No. Why you are here? Because I'm born in Cusco. You are close. It's because your father moved the sexual energy. But in our modern society, we are thinking sex is the only energy what we move. We forget what is the feeling and emotion behind that. In our tradition, and even now, the best healers is the gays.
The best healers are the gays.
Yes.
Mm.
One example is the machis in Chile, even now. I'm talking in this moment today. Because we need to connect with the female energy. Where I am in the Father Earth, I am in the Mother Earth. They don't have the same issue what we have in the Western modern society in the beginning. To move the energy is very important for us. And it's not we accept, we follow the rule of the universe. In this moment we are trying to push to the society to accept who I am. And it's wrong. When you see the pottery from the pre-Inca time, and it's made, we had one museum in Lima, and in the room they name it erotic pottery. And it's not erotic pottery. It's about the way to move this beautiful energy. And this pottery is painting with decoration, is part of the ceremonial place, part of the ritual. And when you check in the history about this energy, it's the same in ancient civilizations. We had one temple in India, I forget the name now, but when you watching the walls external, our interpretation, sexual positions. But when you put attention about the expression of the face, the position of the hands, you understand in many different ways. We thinking sex is release. So the ladies have the orgasmic experience, the boys have the ejaculation, that's sex. It's not that. That's why the basic teachings, ancient teaching, they're talking about this part of the body, the first chakra, the root chakra.
Right. Root chakra.
And in the modern Western society, we are connected with procreation. Ancient time, they connect with the fertility to make a big difference.
So
Definitely, yeah, yes.
I agree with my root chakra. I am more fertile. Not because I have sex in every corner. It's because I move this energy to move my thoughts, to have better perception of the reality. Why the animals, when before they have sex, they play? And what they do in the animals?
Dance, they move, they
No,
fluff their feathers.
put attention.
Oh,
They connect with the aroma of the person, of the other animal, or the partner.
Connection.
That's connection.
Mm-hmm.
In this moment, what's my connection? Talking about Ruben, for the modern society, West society, I look in a girl to have this special body, and of course younger than me. That's a stupid rule. Finally, I fall in love. We're together, and this means they need to go to discotheque every weekend. And the weekend I am so tired. There go you. Because I pretend to follow these rules,
This narrative, yeah.
but it's not the truth.
So are you saying, I'm just trying to understand, I want our listeners to understand this because I think it's so important about kind of the role of, the gay person or a person who might identify as that they hold the energies of the two genders, I'll just say, the feminine and the masculine.
Yes.
And because they have those energies, it flows in a way where there's, is it like a deeper healing or deeper connections that they're able to offer? Why is it that it's, these folks that are the better healers?
It's not only very they're very healers because they have a balance.
They have a balance.
What is so hard for the rest? You need to understand from the beginning, in my DNA, okay, according to science, I have some from my mother,
Right,
female,
right,
and I have some from my father.
right.
We are together. But in the modern society, they teach him to be a macho man. And it's very stupid. Because, for example, I have the lacrimals. My sister had the lacrimals. What is the function of the lacrimals? To hold in the tears? No. To release, to express. No, because I am Ruben, I am the archaeologist, the chief archaeologist of Machu Picchu. I am not crying.
Right.
I represent myself. No. And it's amazing because when you're laughing a lot, cry, tears coming, and you're not feeling, so shy. You keep laughing and you're this, that's okay. But when you have sadness, you know how to choose to share. This is part of the repression what we have
Yes,
in our
absolutely.
society. And that's I say, when looking, for example, in Chile, we have this tribe, the Araucanos. The name of the healer is Machi. And Machi go male or female. And that's the healer.
And so would the people go to this individual for
Healing, help.
healing and help?
well, and I was hearing you say, and I want to make sure I understand this, that right, we're kind of acculturated to see sexuality as kind of like this really base physical instinct.
Yeah.
And what I'm hearing you say is, in these traditions or in this philosophical kind of approach, that sexuality is an energy.
Yes.
And cultivating that energy through the senses, through your root chakra, that's where power is generated.
Exactly. That's the truth. And you see in the pottery, you have, this kind of pottery, what we have here is from mochi. And when you look in the mochi, you see, for example, a boy with a big penis. More bigger, what is the legs.
Right.
And of course, the ladies, they look and say, wow, I want that. It's not possible. This is one example how powerful is to move this energy.
The energy.
The same to the woman.
So the pottery is not bragging. It's just saying this is how powerful this energy is.
It's powerful. This is more or less about connecting what now is very popular here, Kundalini energy.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And so,
No erotic.
right. And so I'm thinking as a healer, right? I generate that energy,
Both.
both the masculine.
Yes, because
and
I need to
feminine.
connect with that.
Right.
When you come in sick, okay, you have, let me to put this idea, you have diarrhea. I have two choices to make a phone call to the pharmacy and I come in, but normally the healers, what they're doing, they go outside, they pick some plant for the Mother Earth, not for the Father Earth.
Yeah.
But in the modern society, I have this and I look at how much is the price? Okay, my credit card done, and I got. That's not the way. I go there, watching the plant, and some of these plants more or less call me and say, I am ready. I say, okay, Mother Earth, I need this energy in order to help Jerry. I pick. I understand this beautiful female energy. I put in the cup, I make the tea, I pray, I move this vibration of energy, I improve and I give to you. This is rational? No, it's the feeling.
Yeah. Intuition.
And when I go into the feeling, I connect with the Father? No, I connect with the Mother.
That's a great example.
Right?
For someone who might identify as gay, are they inherently a healer?
Not necessary. But what is very important is to see who you are, not to look.
Not to look, but to see.
That needs to go on our T-shirts. Mindfully gay. See who you are.
See.
Yeah.
Well, you make a good point, because what we've been talking about on this podcast is, having our stories, having these paths, that really hinder us, that get in our way. I always do this. I always put my hands in front of my face as an image of walls and obstacles that interfere with being able to move forward and truly be ourselves. That we have these blockages, right? And maybe coming to a conversation like this might begin to help unveil or reveal, your truth, or engage in something that will help you to see who you are. Even participate in a ceremonial experience to help see who you are, and if you can speak a little bit to that, how one can engage perhaps in ceremony, or what can ceremony do to help someone find that balance and clear the path so they can see who they are.
That's what I said in the beginning. I'm talking about the entheogen plants.
Yeah.
It's not psychotropic.
Right.
Psychotropic is, for example, cocaine. Psychotropic is heroin. Psychotropic is marijuana.
Yeah.
Psychotropic is ayahuasca. Psychotropic is San Pedro. Psychotropic is the mushrooms. Science naming to everything the same. In order to have cocaine, you need to put the coca leaf with kerosene. And to make sure this, you mix with ether and chlorine.
Gosh, all pure and
All these
healthy and
put in your body, okay? But when we are working with, let me to put San Pedro, the cactus.
Yeah.
We are working with the mescaline. With one of the components is the mescaline. But the other is the photons. The photons coming from the Father. and the nutrients, the crystals for the mother. So when I take the San Pedro, I not take the psychotropic.
Right.
I take both vibration to allow to me to accept who I am.
Balance.
Acceptance.
The moment when I accept who I am, life is better.
Yes. Right.
And all the process is better. It's not just, it's not escape what I share in this moment.
Right.
But 16th of January, I have my test because every year I need to go for my general test. I have some problem in my heart years ago. I have metallic valve, and they checking everything. And after they take the test of my blood, of my urine, my saliva, they doing the echo, all this, everything is perfect, the same what is last year. And even now, my cardiologist, they not talking about my belly. Because I have more or less 10 kilos extra according to standards. But I don't have cholesterol. Because when I eating, I put the pleasure to eat. I connect with that.
Yes.
Now, here I started doing more or less fasting because I understand that my body need to pump in blood extra 10 kilos.
Right.
And I tasted my carry-on with 10 kilos is very heavy. And now I have different conscience about that. But now I eating less, but when I eating, I am not thinking about cholesterol, sugar, nothing like that. I think the pleasure to connect with this energy. And my body reacting in this way. Okay, I have extra kilos, but I don't have any other problems until now.
Right.
Do you know, Ruben, the very first time, I think it was the very first time I met you, we did a San Pedro ceremony. And we went downstairs into your little kitchen, and you had this amazing platter of fruit. All these different colors. And you said, eat the color that calls to you.
Yes.
Right? And so we're still working with the medicine, and medicine was in us. But I felt the life force of like the food that we were eating. Like I could feel the life force of it.
Yes.
And that was so profound that it really threw me into this whole evaluation about how I was engaging food. And that I literally came home from that trip, and for a good 2 or 3 years afterwards, I was a vegetarian. And I'd be cooking corn on the cob, and I would just be like so full of gratitude to this corn. Or I'd be making a salad. And it really just shifted my whole relationship with food.
Of course.
And that was 25 years ago, and it's still a very profound place in my consciousness. So I love that when you say taking in the pleasure. It's like, yeah, that can be a very specific.
Yes, because in the modern society we forget that. And it's so simple.
Very simple.
So simple.
Yeah.
But we forget this connection with the photons and the pleasure.
Yeah.
Because always we pretend to give a punishment to myself.
Yeah.
That's the basic rule of the modern society. Of course, I understand I need to wake up, I need to go to my office, I need to do this because it's part of the basic rules of my society. But the same, what ancient tradition, they go one day to the church. In the same way, I need to go to the church,
Self.
Yeah.
to my temple.
Yeah.
Because God is not only in the building.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
God inside me because I have the divine origin. We changed the name.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because when you look in the way what is the representation of God in ancient tradition is the light.
Yeah.
What are you eating? Protein, sugar, fat? No. First you eating the light.
Energy.
The light. Yeah.
You talked about vibration.
Exactly, it's vibration.
Say more about that. How would you talk about or explain vibration and frequency and energies in that way.
Okay, in this moment, in modern time, we give many names because in competition is many signs, right?
Sure.
In the beginning, we're talking about physics.
Mm-hmm.
Now, quantum physics.
Quantum physics.
Now, chemic,
Yeah. Sure.
biochemic.
Mm-hmm.
So they come, but in the beginning, it's the same. We complicate our life with all these names. Everything what exists has vibration. The perception in my body for vibration is many ways. I close my eyes and I put my hand here. I feel in the heat. That's vibration.
Mm-hmm.
I smile to you and I say this is vibration.
Yeah.
I touch this is vibration. It's vibration.
Right.
The best way to really connect with vibration is three things: sound,
Sound,
color,
color,
and aroma.
aroma.
No perfume,
Mm-hmm.
aroma.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And that's the bridge
Mm.
in between the person and the healer.
Mm.
With these three, I help. Because your body never sits in silence.
Right.
It's amazing because they teach and I say, you like to relax, be in silence. So I'm not talking, okay, and my heart.
Still going. Breathing.
Never in silence. But we put the filters.
Yeah.
When you put your body in some position, you have the choice to listen the beat of your heart.
Mm.
But more easy to listen the rock and roll what is in the radio, right? And this is one. The other one is colors.
Yeah.
How many times you see the color of your eyes in the mirror? It's black, it's green, it's blue. Look carefully
Many colors.
and change
And they change.
according to my feeling and emotions
Mm.
and according to the light. Because in the night it's more bigger, in the day it's more small.
Right.
That is why the medicine plants, they allow to you to open.
True.
Because you have very deeper perception about the photons.
Mm-hmm.
That's the colors. And it's easy because when you're watching, the magazine of science, the origin of our existence is the DNA. It's only colors. And we forget to connect with the aromas. We connect with the perfume. The aroma always in our life is in the negative way.
Yeah.
I have frustration in my work. I fight with my boss. I know eating well. I doing my exercise, and oh God,
Mm.
why you not doing the same when you are in peace
Right.
and you do this? Oh, wow, it's different.
Mhm.
Yes, it's different.
Right. Mm.
And I also say we are moved to the negative. And it's amazing when you practice that. I eat in red color. I eat in blue color. It's so beautiful. In the beginning, the human being, they don't have names to orange, apple, banana. They don't have nothing. Don't have these names. It's all what the Mother Earth provides to us.
Mm-hmm.
And what amazing we are talking with you. In the beginning appeared this medicine plant, what we name in psychotropics. For the beginning. Because in the beginning the people, they not pick the fruits from the trees, for the floor. Soon the fruit is in the floor. It start to grow in the fungus. Fungus come in the mushrooms. And the most important medicine what we have in this moment, in this planet, is the fungi kingdom. And fungi kingdom, they move the beautiful energy in many different directions. And we forget that.
We do forget that.
Science, and I watching one documentary on Netflix.
Netflix.
They're talking about this energy to run all the planet. We know that thousands years ago. Because this plant allowed to move in the actual traveling.
But it makes the scientists feel so proud of themselves that they just did a documentary.
Yes, of course. But the science, they forget the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, they forget the beginning. And I always, because I have the formation of science. So I have this in my brain. And always when I have conversation with people what is looking on the science, I say, yes, in the beginning, our ignorant ancestors, they connected with the wisdom, not with the science.
Well, it's the difference between the feeling of it and the thinking of it. Like
Of
when we
course.
met today, you asked me what the day was, what I thought, what the day would bring, how the day looks, and I answered through a perspective of what I thought. And the truth is, what I felt, I felt because it's gray out. I was feeling kind of crummy, but I didn't want to say that. I wanted to appear to be optimistic, but what I'm generally feeling right now because of how it is, and maybe I didn't sleep so well, I'm not feeling like it's so great, to be honest. I know it can be, but if I would have answered you more from a truer place, maybe I would have thought more about what I feel as
And
opposed
how-
to what I think it's going to be, what I think you want to hear, what I think he wants to hear. It's more about your question of me of how I'm feeling about this now.
And what happens in case you express the truth, you release. And automatic the winds don't change everything. Because you have the power to change the weather. You have the power? No.
No, I certainly don't.
We don't have. But we have the pretension to have complaints. I go outside, oh, it's too sunny. You have the power? No. What happens in case you go outside and say, wow,
You're right.
this energy maybe burn my skin, but I need to smile because the photons, they change.
Just your perception.
You change the perception. But what I tell you, life is for release, not for holding. Every second you have a new cell.
Yeah.
And every second you have dead cells. What is the dead cell? You are a cemetery? No, you release. Why I am not doing the same with my feeling and emotion?
Right.
Amen. Right.
Right. And if we're holding on to that, it's just toxic and heavy.
Always I
and
say,
dark.
when you holding, it's coming the fermentation.
Fermentation.
Or the feeling and emotion.
Yeah.
And somebody touches it, you
Yeah.
explode.
Right.
And it's okay to explode. But the problem is not to move this energy outside, is what you hold
What you're
inside
cooking
create
up
a lot of
inside.
conflict inside. That is why ancient traditions, talking about healing, the organ is connecting with some feelings, some emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do in the heart, and everybody understands this love. It's universal now. But sometimes I say, oh, your liver is anger. Why you know I hunger? Because the beating of your liver, they teach it to me that. They share that. Oh, that is the way we are working the healers in the beginning. Open the vision. I am not looking the white letter, the red. I try to to see what's the vibration inside. I have my eyes.
Yeah.
I have this.
Yeah.
I have this.
Right.
So I'm gonna ask Nick a question. This is kind of like John and I have spent a lot of time with Ruben through the years, and you're in your first hour. So I'm just curious, how are you digesting or hearing this?
It helps me to better understand the work that I do have. I think that I hear I hear about the importance of looking inward and what vision means and how it means to look inside and balance and I feel that it's hard. It's hard right now to get to this place because of modern religion, because of social media, because of media, because of just because of science, maybe even there's so much out there that is not about me looking inward. There's so much out there that's making me look at it and to have my understanding and of my place in this world. And I love to hear these stories, about the times before and the way that people understood essentially what we understand to be science now. And it was through a feeling and through a sense and smell and vibration. And I like those ideas, but I just find it very, like I said, I understand that I have work to do to get to a place like that. I think it's really difficult in the world that we're living in. And I think that the work that we're doing by drawing in and making a call to our community to join us is that we can start having conversations outside of all of that peripheral that's telling us what we need to be and how we should feel and why we should feel bad about our sexuality or whatever it is. And we're coming together to try to share things and to reflect inward. And it's a challenge. It's a struggle to say the least. And I'm grateful, to answer your question, Jerry, I'm grateful that we're doing this, that we're having these meetings, and that we're starting to build community. And just with this brief conversation, I have a better understanding. When we played categories the other day, and we were having that game, and I was thinking about myself and who I am with these people, and if I'm being something different than maybe I normally would be, and why would I be doing that in front of these people? And I guess it's allowing myself to do that as opposed to just listening to the music and focusing on what's out in front of me telling what I should be. And it's just taking some time to have some community so that you can reflect inward and so you can maybe better understand how you really feel about your place in this world. It's apparent to me that there's work to be done, and I'm just grateful that we're starting to build a community to do it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You really speak to the journey of it all. That we know, I think, we can certainly get into our heads that desire to have things automatic. I call it the drive-through theory. Because we can go to the drive-through at McDonald's or whatever and get our hamburger. We got it, right? That's it, instant. And we want that in every aspect in our lives, even change in our physicality or the way that we think and all of that. But you speak to the journey of this and the time that it takes and the work that it takes to be, as a part of this process, to be able to take a moment and stop and just notice that, I am thinking this way. That's interesting. Maybe not to judge it, but it's just, I'm thinking this way, or I never thought of it this way. And I wonder if there's another way to go about this, and how can I achieve that? Maybe engage in conversation with somebody, or just talk about this. Like the person you were speaking to, Jerry, about I didn't know that these were questions that could even be brought up to even talk about. That's part of the process, right? That, these new insights, a new awareness, and opportunities for us to experience and see who we really are. Because I think in that process, in this journey, as Ruben is talking about, it's about release. Life is about release. If we're holding on to all this stuff, and that's how we're kind of walking through life, how are you going to see who you are and even what's out there?
It's about the programming that we've been given. It's about the programming that we were born into. We were told we're male, we have to be this, we have to be this process, marriage, military, whatever it may be.
Right.
It's the program that was thrown upon us, and you have to find, hopefully, you can get to a point, and maybe this is what community can help foster in people that are unsure how to do it, but it's an opportunity to pause that program and to ask if it's serving me, and to realize perhaps it's not, and it's not who I am at all, and pause that. Like you're saying, it's exactly it. It's not even to just get in your head and scream at it and shake it out. It's to recognize that it's happening at all, and to pause, and to just pause with that program, and try to understand yourself in a different way. And it does have so much to do with the time that you're born into, and that's again why I love to hear about these stories where Jerry had mentioned it was a process of it's the bow and the basket, and the choice, and the way in which it's celebrated. This individual is choosing, and it's such a powerful and spiritual process that the whole community is a part of. And when I think about growing up gay and Mormonism, it's just not. I was just taught that there was a book that was passed down by God that says that you're wrong and your parents will never go to heaven because of the choice that I'm making to be gay. And it's just that's so ingrained for me being here in this state that coming back to help my mother like I really was getting depressed about it. And what I'm realizing now that I have to do is I need to stay here, and I need to rewrite this program. I need to pause the program that hasn't been serving me well, and I need to understand through the community of brothers that I have around me that I can actually be more than happy here. I can be grateful to be here. But it's just been a very hard shift to do, because I wasn't for a second taught that I should be grateful for anything. I was just only taught that I was wrong.
Yeah. It's interesting. We teach our kids, when kids start to realize their bodies and they touch themselves, right? Don't touch that.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do that. I was like, and you have a magic wand. I mean, that's your power. That's your medicine.
It's amazing because, for example, in the modern society, always we have these issues about sex, right?
Yeah.
In my country, when we have more or less 3 steps when they grow in the people. When the people is ready for sex, they have sex. So they have sex. So I like this girl, and we are going, and we have sex. But after that, I allow to project my feeling and emotions. And that's the moment when you are together. And it's amazing because after 2 years, you are together. It's in these 2 years you really know who is the other person. And is working this or is working this. After 2 years, you take the decision to marry.
If only, that's not how it's done.
No, but it's amazing
right.
because
It's
when
lovely.
after 2 years, I really know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because half of the expression, after the honeymoon, come in the divorce. Right. You finish the honeymoon and start the divorce. Because they appear many things where you don't have idea they exist. But that's the difference. And so what is really very important is, I don't know too much about the Mormons, but I know about the Catholic tradition. Every Sunday, you go to the church. And what happened in the church?
When you repent for your sins, the weekly sins that you've done all week long. it's
First of all, in order to have good connection with God, you need to accept your mistakes. I think need to be the same in the Mormons. That's why when you go to the Catholic Church, you have the priest there, and you go and say, okay, priest, I doing this, and you release. And after you go and you connect. You don't need to go to the building.
Right. It's right here.
Go there. And tell the truth to yourself, not to me.
Right. Yeah.
when you tell the truth to yourself, you start to change.
Absolutely.
And son, what is very important, I remember all the time, be playful.
Mm-hmm.
Your life need to be playful. I looked at you this way, don't put attention because you're not in this vibration, it's my thing. Playful.
It's a lighter vibration.
It's just like in fitness, I'm a strength and conditioning coach, and if I had this expression and I was throwing heavy things at people, that's scaring them and pushing them into doing things that they're not feeling comfortable doing in their physical bodies, it's a very negative, it's a very negative place. It has to be playful. We have to have fun with what we're doing.
Yes.
And you almost give permission to people to play, because oftentimes they're just not giving themselves that permission because we're told, that everything's bad and we're not to act out that way. But yeah, I can see that it has to be playful. It's a much lighter, happier vibration for sure.
Would you send me that sound bite that I'm saying that you should be playful?
That's just for the podcast. It's just for
I
the
might need
podcast.
it.
He pays me to crack the whip. Trust me.
No, I want to talk about training. No.
Yeah.
What I love about this is, being able to see or have a different perspective of things, because we can certainly have a perspective of our lives, of ourselves, that's just very narrow. It can be very narrow. But when we can expand our consciousness around something, even ourselves, there is that space for change and healing and growth.
Everything.
And even as simple as, because people might ask, well, how do you do that? And I think even as simple as like the food example of, I'm not just eating, beets or blueberries. I'm eating red. I'm eating blue. I mean, just that shift can be quite extraordinary.
Well, and I think just to kind of bring things to a close here, because I think this has been really important. And I don't know when this is going to air, but in October, we're organizing a group. It's not a gay-specific group, but a group of people to go to Peru, and we'll spend 14 days with Ruben. Mm-hmm. And I often hear people talk when they do similar trips, I went to Machu Picchu, or I went and I did this, and I know that they went and they saw something. But I think what happens on our trips, correct me, okay, you bet. Right, you go and you have this experience.
Experience.
And it's not just about the magic of the country, it's about the magic that's within you, and that's what Ruben is able to bring out. And we do ceremonies, not all plant-based ceremonies, but we do some of the plant-based ceremonies. But there's, he'll take us to vortexes and energy spots, and it's not like some grand entrance. He'll just stand here, close your eyes, smell. Right. And next thing you know, somebody's in a different world for a moment, and they're having this experience. And so if people are interested in a journey like that, just contact us through mindfullygay.com. I do have it posted on the website, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've been having you come out here once a year to do sound healing and
thank you. I am very happy to come here, and it's amazing because something happened to me last year. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Can you remind me? No.
And I send gratitude to this place.
Yeah.
Because I love to keep going in my life.
Yes.
I am so close to die, but I coming back, and I send gratitude. That's what I love to come here. And what is very important, everything is in cycles. One day I'm born, and one day I need to die.
Yeah.
It's this, or whatever, but it's that.
Yeah.
Life needs to be simple. And it's amazing because when you're born, what is the first reaction of your body?
To yell, to shout, to announce that you're here, I guess.
The first reaction of your body is,
oh, yeah.
And you cry.
Yeah.
Always I have a joke about that. deliver the baby, and the first reaction is, and you cry because, oh God, I am in this reality.
Right.
Kidding. Not this place.
Right? I am in this place, and you cry. But what is the last reaction of your body before you when you pass away?
Release.
Well, yeah.
Life is that. Simple. Be playful.
Yeah.
Don't be guilty.
We have forgotten that, indeed.
That's what I say. Don't be guilty. Don't feel indifferent. Because everybody have the same. I repeat 1,000, billions, whatever, but that's the meaning of our life. The pleasure to receive and the pleasure to release. Good, bad, whatever. I am in a toxic environment, the pollution of this, I release. In the countryside, whatever, that is life.
That is life.
Simple. No credit card,
No marketing
no
schemes.
marketing, no
Yeah.
piece of paper of
Modern
the high
religions,
school or
yeah.
the college. That is.
Well, thank you, Ruben, for sitting with us and giving us a sample of things to consider in our lives. And I'll turn it over to John to do some amazing outro.
I need to say thank you for inviting me and to really is to open arms, right?
Yeah,
Is we're in time where we need to open, not to close,
yeah.
Absolutely.
because we are equals.
We really appreciate you being here with us, and if our listeners are interested in more information about what Ruben has talked about and what we're talking about, please contact us. You can go to our website, mindfullygay.com. You can certainly contact us through email, info@mindfullygay.com, and ask your questions. I know there's a lot of questions out there, so go ahead and just send them to us. We'd love to address them, talk about them, even come to some of our events that we've got planned here. And of course, as Jerry just mentioned, if you want to go to Peru and really have these experiences, which are very intentional in nature, and it's beautiful, it's a wonderful self-discovery. Peru in October of 2024, it's a wonderful experience. And just take this all in, and if something resonated with you, hold on to that. I think you can really take value in yourself if you just found one thing that you can carry with you. So until next time, we hope that you are healthy and well, and we'll see you on the next episode of Mindfully Gay. Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Mindfully Gay podcast. If you enjoyed our conversation today, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. This way you won't miss out on any of our upcoming episodes, where we continue to explore fascinating topics and share meaningful stories. Your support means the world to us. See you in the next episode.